Chicken.
Writer did almost, I mean, every single show was there to write it. You have the same thing?
Exact same thing. Dayton and Ferris, Jonathan Dayton and Valerie Ferris, his husband and wife.
Really?
The Sunshine and a lot of great movies. And they're terrific. We kind of sought them out and they directed all the movies. So it is true, when you have that kind of singular vision, it makes it a lot easier. I was amazed. I don't have that much experience with doing a show, but when different directors are coming on every week, it must be a challenge. This plays my life.
These are
my thoughts. I mean, what are you thinking, huh? Are you trying to piss me off?
Well, it's my story, too. I have just as much of a right to it as you do. Excuse me? Please stop boring anymore.
I've seen your show, Living With Yourself, and it's just, it's fantastic, and you really are fantastic. And I said earlier, you are the perfect actor for that role.
Well,
did you have something you wanted to say to me?
No, not really.
Does it? Okay.
No, they do. There was, of course, it seems cheap to just kind of reciprocate. It doesn't seem real, but it's from the heart. You're fantastic.
I don't believe it.
You have, well, you know it's true.
Here's
the thing. You know it's true because everybody talks about how.
Because I bought them.
It sounds, you're really, here's the thing that I think is, it's very convincing, and it is an incredibly intense situation, and a character that is really, with each episode getting closer and closer to this manic state. I mean, how hard is it to sustain that frame of mind for 8 episodes?
Well, God, I mean, the real question, that really should be yours, especially given the content of the show, but I'm curious as to, if you had all 8 episodes up front, I wonder if your shooting was different, because obviously it wasn't chronological, so you might shoot something in one day that's episode 1, and then in the afternoon, episode 8, so you really have to hold this entire story. Ostensibly, it's an 8-hour movie. You have to hold this whole story in your head, really kind of turn knobs to really shoot breeds, from minute to minute, from scene to scene. But that was the beauty of having one director. I can't even imagine having to swap out directors for each episode and still try to. Holding that story in your head would become a solo effort. When you have the same people involved in the day, they really can kind of hold your hand and walk you through. They were a part of everything that was shot. They know everything that still needs to be shot, and they have their finger on the pulse of the story. You know what I mean? So then they can kind of modulate the performance accordingly. I was going to ask you. I think the thing everyone wants to know: did you get paid double? No, that's bullshit. Sorry, see, I felt like I had to swear. No, I'm not supposed to swear, but I think I have to. That must have been really hard, though. I mean, I can't imagine having.
Well, it was.
What was the process? Did you shoot one whole side and then?
No, it was. One of the appeals actually you find this to be true too is when you're doing this kind of thing for a little while, you want to try new exciting things. And, the idea of playing 2 parts and having
Porque se voy a pagar tan bueno.
It was a challenge, but as a result, we are, because you're location dependent as well. We're shooting a scene. It could be in episode 1, and then it could be again in episode 4. But we're shooting also the same scene from a different point of view. So we would have to do scenes, the same scene in different episodes, in different ways, and then have to do them again twice because it was 2 characters. So it was a very strange thing to try and keep it all in order. And
would you remember from moments? Obviously this is a real pretentious platitude, but acting is listening and reacting. So would you remember you know, if you were doing one side, one version of yourself, would you have to remember the choices you made and then kind of say, okay, take one, I did this. So on the reverse, don't forget, take one, I got to try and, it's like little puzzle pieces. You have to make sure each choices respond to each choice you make. Would you actually have to make like mental notes of the choices you made from take to take?
I did.
That's unbelievable.
And it became a little bit easier. You know, it's a weird thing that you just, there's no one way of doing it, I guess. I mean, I've talked to a couple of other actors that have done this kind of thing, and the thing that I got before I started was that everyone's approach is different, and you just kind of find what works best for you. And then, I found because I didn't use an acting tunnel, and I didn't want to be reacting to somebody I was acting opposite, even though
I was just going to ask that. So you're just reacting to nothing.
So I was reacting. What I did, the way that we did it was I would record the lines. I would read the scene, act the scene with the sound guy. He would just on a boom mic. We would just do it as an audio, and then he put it into his system. And then on an iPad, we had each line as cues. And so whatever character was driving the scene was the character that I would film first. And I would rehearse the scene for the camera and the crew as we felt like the blocking, this is where it should be, this is where it would look. I would then act it, imagining I was opposite. And I had an earwig in my ear. And when I would say my line, I would hear myself respond, but we had somebody off camera hitting the cue on the iPad to play with other characters' response. And then, once we kind of settled on the take, I would change over, and I would then watch what we had recorded. We would be able to line up the shot, and I would just watch what I did, and I tried to remember what I had done. If I was moving, and I was reaching for something, I remember, on that line, I'm reaching, so my line would have to follow. And it became choreography. And it was a really...
So you'd almost pick... So you'd pick the hero take, or it wouldn't be like if you did, let's say you did 5 takes, you wouldn't say, okay, when we flip around, I'm going to, for the earwig lines, first take, I want the lines from take 1. Second take, I want the lines from take 2. Like, you weren't...
We would just kind of settle on...
You pick the hero take.
We were going to use. Because
the
thing is that we didn't, we also didn't have that much time.
Of course, it's got to be a nightmare.
As I'm sure you experienced as well. You don't have. It is like shooting an 8-hour movie, but you're shooting it in normal movie length. Time. Time takes to shoot an hour and a half, 2 hours.
And then there's a scene where when you first come out of the spoilers, right? When you first come out of the spa and you're driving and you actually go running through corn.
Oh, viejo, weón. Getting the cool.
Saludos para todos. Qué día tan esplendoroso tenemos hoy. Es un partido de altísima calidad. Ya lo dije antes, pero quiero recalcarlo. El clima es sensacional. Qué a gusto estamos, doctor. Y el ambiente del público es uno que verdaderamente me alegra porque ambas aficiones están alentando a sus futbolistas. ¡Qué emocionante encuentro! ¡Ay, qué bonito es el fútbol! Eso mismo. Ahí cazó el jugador. Eso es un tiro
Come on,
libre.
man. Please go around.
Marquinhos. Romagnoli. Va luchando a codo con su marcador. Cortó el pase. Robertson. Busca a su delantero. Y ahora tiene Owen. Podrían llegar hasta la portería rival.
Ay, no, se acabó, güey. Todo
La
bien,
mete
gol.
por ahí. Oportunidad de gol.
Fuck now, mate.
Golazo
Puta la wea,
tremendo.
güey.
¿Qué se puede decir de este
No,
gol?
vamos.
Este es uno de los futbolistas que no pueden dejar solo dentro del área. Sencillamente tiene un grandísimo porcentaje de definición.
Paris Saint-Germain se despistó muy pronto en el partido. Atención que viene el gol. Lo han cazado, es tiro libre. ¿Será el tercero?
La barrera podrá hacer su chamba, podrán empatar con esta oportunidad.
Messi.
Puta la wea, tenés que mover al arquero,
Dejó
full
muchísimo, pero muchísimo que desear.
Pequeños.
Jugada espectacular que hace detener anoche.
Pero no la veo aguantando.
Esto da una. Otro futbolista que Mbappé.
Yes, Mbappé. Yes.
Así es como se castigan los pases cerrados en medio campo. Hablamos de que solo pasaron unos segundos desde que la pelota fue interceptada a que esto terminó en gol. Gran contra de
Paris Saint-Germain. Se reinicia el encuentro con la misma cantidad de alegría.
Ah, Marquinhos, está lento.
dormiditos, mientras seguían pensando en su gol, les empataron. Ahora tienen que ir
se
por
queda.
otro.
Y va para adelante. Skriniar. Y la recuperan sin más. Busca colarla.
Marquinhos.
De Bruyne.
Por Marquinhos. Vamos para Mbappé. Messi. Messi.
Milagrosamente llega dentro el balón. Rijkaard. Messi. Se emplea a fondo en el costado. ¡Qué bueno! Les marcaron posición adelantada. Busca a su delantero. Owen. Aquí le va a dar.
Uy, no, ya.
Rijkaard.
Ah,
Vaya vuelo, ya la tiene de nuevo. Le pega a portería. ¡Está dentro! ¡Es un gol para celebrar!
puta la wea, culiao.
¡Recuperan la ventaja! La presión le hace los
Es como
mandados.
muy.
La defensa
Se
estuvo
va
al
a
nivel
mover
para
a hacer
presionar al
las
jugador.
marcas.
No tuvieron ni la fuerza ni el coraje para controlarlo. Cristiano Ronaldo.
Marcaron el ansiado gol necesario para ponerse en ventaja.
Cada vez que lo exigen,
Ah,
cada vez que lo
pero weón.
Disparo.
Qué
¡Lo
chucha,
consiguió!
weón.
¡Gol! ¡Gol!
Puta la wea.
Realmente están metiendo mucha presión.
Mal,
su
weón.
equipo se vio claramente la transición de defensa-ataque. Hicieron el rompimiento con extrema rapidez y determinación.
Ahora la ventaja es de 2 goles.
Parece que le encontraron la forma al rival y ahora se ven invencibles. Y mucho cuidado porque todavía pueden caer muchos más goles.
Los rivales llegaron a dudar, pero él nunca lo hizo. Arnold. Marquinhos.
Oh, chucha, weón. Pensé que estaba mal.
La alternativa ahora pasa para ellos.
Ah, otro.
Aprovecha la oportunidad.
Puta la wea.
Ahí está el gol.
No, ¿dónde la cancha?
Metieron otro en cuestión de minutos. Una exquisitez de jugada, la hizo solito.
Pensó rápido y corrió rápido.
Eso pareció una falta y el árbitro la ha concedido. La sacó con los puños. Pelota al puesto, qué bien la vio. Esa fue una excelente maniobra defensiva. Sabía lo que tenía que hacer y lo realizó. Messi. Escupió la jugada de Alisson. Messi.
No hace mucho daño si se le obliga a jugar de espalda a la portería rival.
Ah, pero conche tu madre, justo, weón.
Mbappé. Arremete hacia adelante. Va hacia el extremo izquierdo. Atención que viene una buena jugada.
No se cuidaba mal, weón.
Voltea y va hacia atrás.
Pero tanto espacio en medio, weón.
Aprovecha el espacio abierto.
Puta la weá, weón, conche tu madre.
Messi. Monumental en el fondo. Juventus.
Es como mucho espacio entre los...
A pesar del fallo,
No,
y para detenerlos se necesita hacer el doble de intratable.
demasiado espacio y para...
Buen intento de cabeza, pero no lo suficiente. Esta es la oportunidad para Messi. Y la ganan de vuelta. Y va para adelante. Termina la primera mitad. Vamos al medio tiempo.
No. A ver.